Hello YouTubers, welcome back to Edification 360 Degrees. And so today we are busy with social sciences geography grade 7 and the topic is volcanoes. With volcanoes, we are going to discuss answers of practice activity 1.1, which was in the structure of the earth video. The first question, you were asked to label the layers of the earth using the picture on your right hand side. A is our crust, B, the mantle, C, the outer core, and D, the inner core. Question number 2, name the parts of the earth that are solid. The parts of the earth that are solid is the crust and the core. And the last question, which is the hottest part of the earth? The inner core is the hottest part of the earth. Activity 1.2 answers, you were supposed to label the earth's tectonic plate. Number 1, North American plate. Number 2, Pacific plate. Number 3, Nazca plate. Number 4, South American plate. Number 5, Cocos plate. Number 6, Caribbean plate. Number 7, African plate. Number 8, Eurasian plate. Number 9, Arabian plate. Number 10, Indian plate. Number 11, Indo-Australian plate. Number 12, Philippine plate. And lastly, number 13, Antarctica plate. All of this is out of 13 marks. And so under volcanoes, we are going to be looking at the following. 1, what is a volcano and what causes it? 2, why volcanoes occur? 3, location of volcanoes around the world. What is a volcano? A volcano is the opening in the Earth's crust through which hot substances such as molten rock erupt. Most volcanoes actually occur close to plate margins. Remember, plate margins are the places where tectonic plates meet. These plate margins are the weak places in the Earth's crust. What is a volcano? A volcano is the opening in the Earth's crust through which hot substances such as molten rock erupt. And then what causes these volcanoes to erupt? These volcanoes are caused by the movements of the plates. This will be explored more in the following slide. Why volcanoes occur? A volcano is a sign that the Earth's crust is weak. The weakest parts of the crust are along the plate margins. Some of you refer to it as plate boundaries. Movement below the surface causes the molten rock that is called magma to find its way into the surface. And so there are 2 ways that this happens. Firstly, if we have 2 tectonic plates that are moving towards each other and one slides under the other, this would cause a volcano, and this causes a volcano on the land. Secondly, when two tectonic plates move apart from each other, a volcano would occur, and this volcano would occur under the ocean. Location of volcanoes around the world. Most volcanoes actually occur close to plate margins. Plate margins are weak places in the Earth's crust. Remember, plate margins are the places where tectonic plates meet. And on the screen, there is a map. It indicates that the black dots are cities, the blue line are plates, the yellow dots are earthquakes, the red dots are volcanoes. We are going to focus on the blue lines, which are the plates, and our volcanoes. The blue lines are plate margins. Some of you know it as plate boundaries. Plate margins and plate boundaries are the places where tectonic plates meet. If you can see your red dots, actually, your volcanoes, they happen quite close to the plate margins. And now we have a practice activity which covers the content that we have covered so far on volcanoes. Practice activity 1. The first question, what is a volcano and what causes it? And this is for 3 marks. Question number 2, where do volcanoes usually occur? And this is for 2 marks. The third and last question, describe the plate's movement in the pictures below and how this then causes a volcano. It's for 6 marks. 3 marks for A and 3 marks for B. On to discussing answers for practice activity 1. Number 1, a volcano is an opening on the Earth's surface through which hot substances such as molten rock erupt. You give yourself a mark for that. It is caused by the movement of the plates on the Earth's weak crust. 2 marks. Number 2, volcanoes usually occur close to plate margins, and that is for 2 marks. Number 3, picture A. One plate is sliding under the other. You give yourself a mark for that. And this causes a volcano under the ocean. And that is for 2 marks. Picture B. 2 tectonic plates are moving apart, meaning they are moving away from each other. You give yourself a mark for that. This causes a volcano on the land. And that is for 2 marks. Up, we discuss practice activity 2. You are given a map. It's on the right hand side of the screen. It's titled the Earth's plate. And so the instruction is to study the map and answer the questions below. Number 1, write the number of the tectonic plates that South Africa is a part of, and it's for 1 mark. Number 2, name the plates that share a margin with the plates that you have mentioned in number 1, and it is for 7 marks, meaning there are 7 plates that you need to mention. And the third and last question, explain why volcanoes happen at plate margins, and that one is for 2 marks. Answers for practice activity 2. Number 1, the correct answer is plate number 7, and that is the African plate. Number 2, if you have written all of the plates that I will read shortly, you give yourself 1 mark for each plate. South American plate, Eurasian plate, Arabian plate, Indian plate, Indo-Australian plate, Antarctica plate, South American plate. 1 mark for each. In total, that should be 7 marks for number 2. Now we move on to number 3. Volcanoes happen at the plate boundaries because they are the weakest parts of the Earth's crust. Just a quick recap of the work that is covered on volcanoes. Firstly, we looked at what is a volcano and the cause. A volcano is the opening in the Earth's crust through which hot substances such as molten rock erupt. Then we moved on to why volcanoes occur. A volcano is a sign that the Earth's crust is weak, and volcanoes happen in 2 ways. Volcanoes occur under the ocean when plates move apart, meaning when plates move away from each other. Also, volcanoes occur on land when one plate slides under the other. Then lastly, we looked into location of volcanoes. Most volcanoes occur close to plate margins. Plate margins are the weak places in the Earth's crust. Thank you so much for joining us today as we're discussing the topic of volcanoes. We are available on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Gmail, and now also on WhatsApp. The number is displayed on the screen. If you'd like to engage or really ask any questions, we are here for you. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube page and the other pages. Be sure to share with others. And remember, knowledge is power.